And we're live on the Bright Business Talk Show. Good afternoon. My name is Jim Miller, your host, and this is the Bright Business Talk Show where we have purpose-driven conversation about business and life. And today we have a wonderful guest, uh, Lima, and she's from Brazil. And she has lots and lots of fun things to talk about today in terms of her life story. It's fascinating what she's been going through, and also her business is growing, and she's been able to manage combining the two together to create a purpose-driven life and business. And I'm excited to hear her story today. I hope you are too. This is a live show. Please, when you check it out, be encouraged to add your comments if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, or we're even on Instagram today. So yeah, join us, chime in, make some comments, say hello. Maybe we'll give you a shout out and put you up on the stage and get a live shout out here during the show. So with that, I'm going to introduce our guest today, and Fernando Lima Thurman.
Hi,
You go
Jim.
by Felima, right?
Yes, that's my nickname.
Your nickname. Okay, I love it. That's cool. So how are you today? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to share my story and to get to know you a little bit better as well.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to having a chat with you today. And so tell us about your story. You guys hear a little bit of an accent, and you're from Brazil. So how long have you been in the United States?
So I have been here for 20 years.
Okay.
And first I moved to Los Angeles, then I moved to San Diego. But my English was very good until my entire family, not entire, but a lot of my family members moved to America. And I was trying to teach my kids how to speak Portuguese, also my husband. So then the majority of my time was now speaking Portuguese to them.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Well,
where
that's
the
such an advantage,
yeah,
though, in life. I think having two languages or multiple. How many languages do you speak?
two, but I can understand Spanish as well. I try to speak Spanish, but I get everything mixed up because it's very close to Portuguese.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I learned Spanish in grade school, so I know enough to be dangerous. I can listen, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it's great to have multiple languages, especially here in California, because it's like a total multicultural experience living here.
Yeah, and they say that your brain develops, more when you learn two or three languages. It's easier for you to learn anything else. So I wanted to give that gift to my kids,
Mm.
and also to be able to have them speak to my family and enjoy and really learn the culture, because I think it's important that they embrace my culture, even though they are in America.
So when you got here to the States, were you doing what you're doing now, or did you have a different thing totally?
So I'm an architect by trade, and this is what I was doing when I got here. I was doing
What
architecture.
what what type of architecture do you specialize in?
Residential. In Brazil, I had my own office, so I was doing commercial. I was doing stores, like retail stores, for about 3.5 years. I was designing retail stores and doing all the management and doing all the orders and doing everything. So when I came here, I started working for an architectural firm, and during the 2008, that's when the economy had a huge down, and I had to look for something else to do. So we moved to Vegas because there the economy was still booming in 2008. And I was working for two different architects, doing my own architectural work, but everybody just like, we don't have any more work. We Out of the blue, in 1 week I had nothing else to do. So we moved to Vegas, and I got a position that was the one that paid the least, but was the
So
one.
at that point, did you have a family? Did you have kids or any of that?
Nothing. They were
Nothing. Okay, so it was just you.
It
That's
was
still a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure.
Well, I love challenges. And back then it was just like, cool, I'm moving to Vegas,
All right. That's a
Easier
good
to
attitude.
move
That's
to
good to think.
America. Moving to America was harder, even though it was not hard for me, but it was harder than moving inside of the United States.
Okay. And what was it that you took a position with a company in Las Vegas as an architect?
So when I was here, I was making 33,000 a year, which is almost nothing. But when I went to Vegas, I the first interview I had over the phone, I knew that people were very excited about the software that I knew. And I feel like sometimes when people see challenges and they're afraid of challenges, they step back. They're actually missing a huge opportunity to grow. So
Mm.
when I started this architectural job, which was my dream to work in America as an architect, I was using a software where I knew how to use that software. It's called AutoCAD. But as
Yeah.
soon as I
Okay.
started, she said, hey, by the way, we just acquired a new software. And back then there was no Google. Okay. And we're talking about 2004,
Okay.
2000. Yeah. So there was no Google for this platform. Everything was new. And she's like, can you learn? And in my yes attitude, that's what I always had. I was like, of course I can. I had no kids. I had my whole time to dedicate to learn this. So I
And the
learned that.
iPod had just come out in 2002, just to kind of give a frame of reference there, right? Everybody knows when they got their first iPod.
Yes, yes, I remember the iPod. So when I said yes, I start learning by trial and error, and I'm trying and trying. So then when this company closed, I start contacting companies in Vegas, and I noticed that they were very excited about me knowing this particular software. So when I went to go do my in-person interview, I did not like the first interview I had because the person was a lot of pressure, and I knew that I could not make one little mistake. And immediately he asked me, how much do you want to get paid? And since I didn't want that job, I said 100,000. And he said, okay. Just like if I was asking for 40,000, and I'm like, what? So that gave me the baseline, and I understood that, hey, I have a lot of value to offer because this guy didn't even blink when I said 100,000. So I did my other interviews, and I was not driven by the money. I was driven by the lifestyle I was going to have with each one of the companies. So I picked a company that paid me 25,000 less, but I knew I was going to have the lifestyle that I could go home and I didn't have to stress about 1 millimeter that was wrong on certain projects.
Mm.
And that's what I chose to do. So back then, now my husband was my boyfriend back then. He said, I had to teach people. And I was like, I can't do this. And he's like, you got this, you can do this. Which brings me to another point. It's very important to have somebody by your side that is your cheerleader, that believes in you, that pushes you up, even though like you feel you can't do it. They can see what you can't,
Mm.
right? When you were insecure, you can't see all the power that you have. So
Right.
I
That power of association. Yeah. So it's so important to understand how that works in your life. And you become like the five people you hang around with the most. And
exactly.
ideally, your special someone, your spouse or significant other, would be one of those five, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
At least you hope for, right?
yeah, well, yeah.
um, and so when I started, I was gonna teach like a small group of engineers and architects in Vegas. And the next thing I know, they said, "Hey, by the way, we have an event in Reno, which is another city, and you're gonna be our main speaker." And I was like, "What?" So they said you're gonna be speaking about this topic, and there was about over 100 people in that room, and I'm like, I can't do that. initially I was like, I can't do that. And then I'm like, you know what? I am going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I know what I know. And if I don't know, I can own it and say, I don't know, but I will find out. So when I got there, my computer froze. My computer didn't work. And I could see the look in the eyes of the people in the audience. It was like 99% men. And they're looking at me short, computer doesn't work. They're not giving me a lot of credit. So I just like, you know what? I'm going to be me. And I'm just going to talk to them while they're fixing my computer. And I'm just going to be me. I'm not going to pretend that I have it all together, that everything's perfect. So I made a joke about some of the things that I say wrong, that they might, especially in the architecture world, we say, sheet number 2, number 3, number 4, and I still don't know how to say that word very well. Sometimes my kids go like, Mom, you just cursed. I'm like, no, it's sheet of paper. So, I cracked a joke. I told them some words that I might say wrong, and I introduced myself, and that was it. Everybody started laughing. They started asking questions about my country, and it became very easy for me to now present what I had to present. And that was the first time ever that I did a presentation for 100.
All right, good. That's a great story. So what's the lesson there?
One lesson I learned: when you're nervous and you're going to do a presentation, don't wear a purple shirt.
Write that one down. Excellent. Like don't
wear
wear a purple shirt.
Show that you're sweating, right? Wear a blazer. But the biggest lesson for me is that we have what it takes, and the majority of the time, we are our own bottlenecks. We are the own imposter, and a lot of the people out there, I would say everybody that was out there, I knew more than they knew on that subject. Right. So they were there to hear from me, and if I don't trust myself, I am not going to give them what they were expecting. So, really trusting that and what you can deliver will benefit other people.
Excellent. Yeah, that's beautiful. So, but it's like that presence, that personality. People love real people, and I think it's even more important or prevalent now when you're live, when you're in front of real people, instead of like this with Zoom. This is good, but it's when you're live and you've got that presence and that confidence, or even if you don't, but you're real, it comes through, and they all will support you because they know what it's like being up there.
Yeah. And one of the things that I heard from a company that hired us after my presentation, he said, I will hire you because you didn't blame on anyone.
There you go.
You saw there was a problem. We acknowledged the problem. While we're fixing, let's, keep the ball rolling. Yeah, and he said, if you're going to work with us, if there is a problem, I need everybody on the team to own it and not blame others. Oh, because that person didn't check my computer, or that person didn't do this, or instead of blaming, it was not my fault, but you know what? It happened, right? And blaming others, saying, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my computer, somebody should have checked my computer this morning. So he hired us because there was no blaming.
Yeah, and you delivered what you thought. Yeah. And you came across in a human way, and you got you won the hearts.
Yeah.
And the minds. So good for you. That's great. So how does that, now doing that, you transitioned at some point into having your own business. What was that like?
So when I was in Vegas for about a year, and then Vegas also crashed. So I ended up coming back to San Diego, and I was doing work with another architect, local architect, doing high-end custom homes.
Okay.
And I love that. But one day I felt the calling in my heart, and I went to a local business meeting. And the lady said, if you want to know what you're passionate about, ask your friends to tell you how they would introduce you to somebody or what they would say about you if you're not in the room. So I'm like, everybody's going to say I'm an architect. So I went to my friend's house and I said, Isis, if you had to talk about me, what would you say? And she's like, oh, you are very health conscious. You are mama bear. At that point, now I was married with kids, had two boys. And she was like, you will fight for companies to disclose what they are putting, the ingredients they're putting. You are very conscious about, like the environment you're in. She says everything, but that I was an architect. So I was like, what about architect? Oh, yeah, you're an architect. So I came home and I remember I was like, I was looking for purpose, right? And I'm crying in the car, like really feeling like heavy, like, what am I doing? Now I have two kids. In order for me to get a really high end paid job with health insurance and everything, I have to work in downtown, which is like 45 to 50 minutes away from my home. And now I want to be home with my kids because I have been able to do that, work from home, because my mom was living with us. So I was able to work from home, still be with my kids, and have the opportunity to make very good money, which I end up working with Autodesk, the company that makes all the softwares, right? And if you're
Okay.
listening to this, your LinkedIn profile, it's very important because that's how they found me on LinkedIn. They are typing everything they needed. Somebody that speaks Portuguese, somebody that knows Revit, somebody that knows that lives in America, speaks English. Everything they typed, I was the only person that they were able to find on LinkedIn. So I ended up working with them, being able to work from home for 4 years. So when this whole thing happened, I was like, I came home and I was like, God, what's the purpose in my life? What am I doing? I really want to be a mom, but I'm a professional. Then we become with that guilty feeling that I want to be with my kids, but I need to make money as well. And that's when my husband was already helping other people with their healthy homes, helping people create homes with heating, air conditioner, and building materials, water filtration systems, mold remediations, because I became sick inside of my house. So he decided that, he was going to help me. And then he found out a lot about the houses and how people are getting sick inside of the homes. So at that moment, I'm like, you know what? This is what I love doing. I'm going to help him with his business and I'm going to be a partner with him. So then at that point, I start hiring coaches. I was like, who is the best person, the best coach to do launches? Who is the best coach to do a virtual conference, which is called virtual summits? And I did a virtual summit, and it was very successful. And we got to talk to experts around the world. And if you want to learn anything, any topic, do a virtual summit because you're going to be able to ask all those people all the questions you want to know. And that's what I did. And I fell in love with the whole process. I was like, I love this. And as I was learning, I was tweaking to my own way because I'm very people person. And I just didn't like the one size fits all. And if it doesn't work, it's your mindset. And
Mm.
I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. And at that point, I knew that I needed to create my events the way I knew that was going to convert for my audience. And that was the way I like to communicate. So we did an event, was phenomenal. We had over 1,000 people registering, no Facebook ads, nothing, just relying on collaboration and partnerships. And we have a Facebook group filled with people, with over 500 people in 1 week. And
So
back
what
then,
did that save for you in terms of cost and time to be able to do it that way?
it was $20,000 to hire the coach. And I learned the software myself. So back then I was using ClickFunnels. So I
Okay.
learned the software because, again, I learned the AutoCAD and Revit by myself, right? So
Sure.
I have that. I knew, I was confident I could learn any software because that's how my brain works. So I learned the software. I built all the funnels. I just reached out to speakers, just sharing my heart. I had a whole process that, by the way, the coach said it's going against the coaching, but to me, that's how we connect with people. So I had a really good system that I got all the speakers enrolled in less than a week. 27, we had 27 speakers in less than a week. They were all enrolled, and I had the whole show. I would say, besides the cost of the coach, if I had to hire somebody, that would have cost about $9,000. But since I was able to do everything, I was able to create the systems. And then later on, when everybody was asking me, how did you get these results? How did you do this? I have been doing this for 2 years and I didn't get the results. I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And I'm giving them all of this for free.
Mm.
So when pandemic happened, I had already quit my job with the architect because I was looking for passion and purpose. So I
Mhm.
decided to work with my husband to help educate families. And especially, my focus has always been on kids. And at that point, pandemic happens. I'm crying. My husband goes like, "If you have to do work for free, what would you do?" And I said, "I'm already doing it. I'm just
It's a
not."
great question.
Right?
It really is.
Yeah, he's like, if money was not a problem, if you would work for free, what would what would you do? And I'm like, I'm already doing it. I'm just not charging. So one of the ladies that kept coming back to me over and over, I said, hey, by the way, I just opened my business today, and this is my full time job, and I'm charging $5,000. And she was like, okay, just like that. I was expecting her to kind of negotiate to go down to 4,000, maybe three. And she's like, okay,
'Cause she understood the value proposition that she was, she knew what she was going to be able to make,
yeah,
and you already established that you knew your stuff.
yeah. So
So
after we build a
good
relationship,
timing too, because when COVID hit, a lot of people were like scrambling to figure out how to adjust to that, and the online world was a great place to be.
yeah,
Still is, but I think it's kind of moving back into a combination of face to face and uh, online stuff. So
yes, I agree with you. And we can still do both, right? Like this right now, we could be in person doing this and streaming to any platform, right? So
yeah,
you can still do the hybrid, which is being live in person and still, give people around the world the benefit of learning from the same event without
hmm
having to pay for tickets to go, because we also got used to be online and watching classes sitting, on your couch with your kids playing around, so you don't have to spend money on
right,
tickets, hotels, and babysitters.
right, and
Mhm.
travel. Oh my gosh, all the time, headaches. Yeah, it's really nice to be able to do this, and
Yeah,
I think it's too part of the challenge that people have in doing like online events, especially big ones with 1,000 plus people, is the promotion part, the promotion side, because it's like you don't do that all the time. So there's a learning curve. If you do one a year, every time that you do it once a year, the technology's changed and something's different, and you've got to go through another learning curve, and it's a big pain. So to have somebody like you that would come in and just do it for you, and you understand that, if you're monetizing the event, that you're going to have some costs. And so if you know what your budget is, it really makes sense to bring somebody on that knows what they're doing. Saves you a lot, and it gives you access to your brain. You can work on better things than doing the promotion.
Yes. And on top of that, um, if you were to hire all the coaches in different industries to learn and to understand how everything works together, that would cost way more. And what I believe is that we all have our zone of genius, we all have our passion, we all have the things that we like to do. And so we should be putting our energy towards that, because that's what's going to bring you money, right? And
Yeah.
I understand, like for me, I learned the tech because it's easy for me to learn. Like that's how my brain works, coming from an engineering and architecture background. That's how my mind works. But for a lot of people, they have a hard time understanding even the basics. So I'm working with a client that they don't understand anything because they're trying to learn, they're trying to catch up. But at the end of the day, it causes frustration, it causes all the headache and the try and the error. It's like
Yeah.
you
Well, they're good at their business, whatever their business is, right? They're really good at that. But this is like a whole different thing.
yes,
And what's crazy about it is that you could learn it on your own, right? You can go out and buy the software, and you can go through the learning curve, and you can experiment and try and go through all the pain of, failures and trial and error and all that. It takes time and energy and resource, but heck, it doesn't make sense anymore. Especially
no,
if you have a business that's already running.
yeah. And especially now with AI, AI brought in a lot of it's easier for us to do more things. But also what I see is some of my clients, they say, oh yeah, I'm using ChatGPT. But when they're using ChatGPT, what they're putting in, what they're getting out, it's not really good,
Yeah,
because what they're
garbage in, garbage out.
in, it's not good. So you're
Yeah,
only going to get what you put in. So even though AI is great, it helps you, but if you don't know how to get started and do the right thing, you might spend like me. And the first time that I was using AI, I was using ChatGPT to write a copy. I was doing over and over, like, this is awful. I would never speak like this. I would never
right.
use words like that. So it took me a while until I really got into a course. And then I learned that how the different ways to act, the different things to ask, and how to continue to improve and train your AI. Could be, like ChatGPT or voice AI or whatever it is, to be speaking like you, to
Hmm.
really understand who you are, which is very interesting, because I was writing a chapter in a book, and I did not want to use ChatGPT to write that chapter, right? So what I did is I just wrote my chapter on my own, and I told ChatGPT, this is me, and I'm going to be giving you some information through the 3 days that we're working together. So please make sure that you keep all of the information and do not write anything. Do not correct me. Do not do anything. So, okay. What happened next is 3 days later, I said, here's what I wrote. Now I need you to act as a New York Times um, publisher and editor, and I need you to tell me what's wrong, what doesn't make sense, and why. Do not rewrite, do not delete, just tell me what needs to be changed. So it went through what I wrote, and ChatGPT told me, I am so sorry you went through this. It had an emotion. I understand for a mom and for a wife, and to be, this is hard. And I can hear in the tone of your voice, because I was doing voice memos, that this is hard for you. I hope that my corrections will help you. Like, if it's seriously, like, it's almost like I was talking to a person, will help you feel that this aligns more with you. So then it gives me all the corrections.
Mm.
And it tells me, here you're doing storytelling. Here you're doing like a first person view. Here you're doing an spectator view. So you need to choose. And then it educated me on how to do it right. And I feel like this is helping people a lot, like, with the systems and being able to multiply that. But if you don't get the beginning right, you might be using, like that over and over and over without knowing if that is good or bad.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Wow, that's great insight. Thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. That's worth the price of entry today, right there. I think that little thing, especially if you're in the process of writing your book or you're thinking about it, or for your next book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Using these tools that we have today in the right ways. And seems like you've been through the learning curve already. So
Yeah. So again, to me, if I want to learn something, I just make sure that I hire a coach that has experience, that has been there, that has been working with that tool, so they
Mhm.
can help me instead of, I don't have the time right now to be learning on YouTube. And one thing or another, we can go on YouTube and learn, but to learn
Mhm.
a whole trade or a whole topic on YouTube by try and error, I been there when I learned the software, but I don't want to be there again. I would rather be serving people, helping, and spending time with my family.
Very good. Well, that's a great segue. Let's bring up your website. We'll dive into that for a minute. Is that okay?
Oh yeah.
So tell us about your website.
The first thing I'm going to tell you, I was blonde. That is me. So and now I need to change the picture. But that website, I still help people, and especially course creators with memberships and coaches that are launching their programs online, digital courses, to systemize the whole event. And many people, they make money, and again, everything works, right? Every strategy, it's amazing, every strategy works, but which one is the right one for you? And my goal is to really help people that didn't have the budget to invest on social media, even
Mhm.
though you can invest on social media by doing this or ads. But what my goal was to help them getting started, because just like me, I didn't have the budget to go invest in Facebook ads, especially after I invested 20,000, cash in that coach for that coach. So we still help people running virtual summits, launches, create memberships so they can sell their digital products. But we're very focused on the systems that can be repeated, and so that they can engage more with the audience. They can have more people showing up, because we know today it's so hard for us to fight with all over the internet with for 1 second, one split second of people's time.
Mm.
So how do we
Yeah.
stand out?
There's a book that I read about that was written by a group of they call themselves pirates up in Silicon Valley, and they're really good at launching startups, launching the unicorns up there, and have been very instrumental in some of the big names that we know of today, like Uber and um, Airbnb and those types of companies.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the strategies they use is just that. They call it a lightning strike,
Mm-hmm.
where you create an event out 6 months to a year and you put everything in your company to work creating the moment, the lightning strike moment at a trade show, where you go in and you take over the event, and your company becomes the talk, the buzz, everything around that event, and it launches your company to the stratosphere. And then what's really important, to your point just now, is like taking that and spending the time to build that momentum, and then having the infrastructure in place to capture that the leads and the energy around that through contacts and emails and all of the nuts and bolts, and then having the messaging to pull those people into an engagement process and build your business revenue wise, sell them stuff, and then grow from there. So that's what you're doing now, right? It's basically creating these lightning events, smaller ones, and then creating the infrastructure, all the back end, the funnels, the email system, the campaigns, social campaigns, all of the the nitty gritty database stuff that nobody likes to do, but it really has to get done. And it sounds like that's where your real purpose is. Am I right?
Yes, it is, because I see that a lot of my clients would never have launched if I was not partnering with them. And when I say partnering, it doesn't mean I'm a partner in business, but I'm a partner in that event with them. And that's how I like to show up. It's like, I'm not here just to collect that cash at the end of the event or the beginning. I am here to work through this with you. I am your partner for this event. So what we see a lot of the times, and I saw back in the days, is that we were so busy sending messages, sending, like all of those doing the repeated tasks. How many people show up for the event? How many people responded? How many people signed up? And doing all manually. When now we're able to create a system and repeat, and every launch that we do or every event that we do, we just make it better, right? It could be an in-person networking event. People say the fortune is on the follow-up, and that is true, because how many times you go to networking events and next thing you know, you didn't get somebody's card, or you don't know how to contact the person, you forget to send an email. So instead, now with the automation, it leaves that room for you to become more human and engage more with the audience and being more present without being worried about, did that person get an email to show up today for the event? Did they get an email to send a review or to leave a review for us? Instead, everything's done automatically, and then it leaves room for you to actually have more of a one-on-one with people.
So these are your offers, right? Tell us about these.
Yeah, so we do full production for people that says, I want to have an event. It could be a launch, a virtual summit, a giveaway.
Who's your ideal client for these?
So it varies. For this particular offer, it would be coaches, course creators, digital marketers. But for the systems itself, which is another sister company that is called Summit to Launch,
okay, we can bring that up.
So for this, it's more like the coaching industry, the digital industry, even for networking events. But for the Summit to Launch, which is a CRM where we already have everything built, and what we do is, we have a software that we white label, which means a huge company allows us to use their system and rebrand to us, so we can focus on serving the clients. We have been working with local business owners and a lot of people that do networking. And the importance of this to streamline this process is that once we built for you, which we can build everything from scratch, it's repeatable and you can use over and over. And if we need to do a change here or there, we can do a change. But we also educate our clients. We have training. We have 24/7 support. And if they come in and they want, for example, voice AI, which is a huge thing. So we call it the AI employee, which is people were afraid that AI was going to take over jobs. It's not going to. It's just going to free more time from repeated tasks, so the people that you have working with you can focus on tasks that are either creating engagement, building trust, or bringing more money in, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
repeated tasks that leaves a lot of room for errors is going to be removed. So we have on that platform integrates with almost all the favorite apps that people use right now. They integrate seamlessly, so we don't need to use Zapier. We don't need to use like a messenger to connect things, which is another disconnect. We just had a client that had a huge issue because she couldn't send text messages. And the problem is they are using a company outside of the platform. So they have to do connections. And anyways, if you have to connect using a third party, if something breaks, you probably don't know what's not working. You have to go, the troubleshooting will take you longer. This is one place for everything.
So is that the right URL?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, if you're interested in learning more about that, then go to summittolaunch.com. Check it out. So this is replacing one tech stack replaces all of these things
Yeah. And more now.
and even more. So this is crazy. Now it's like I've used this too, and I've used all of the ones. Most of these I've used over the years. I've been at this a long time too. So and so I see I've had experience with some of these kind of programs in the past where
Mm-hmm.
they become like a Swiss Army knife
Yeah.
of things, and they're not really good at any one thing, but they've got everything there. This program is different. This program has everything, and they all work. They're all good, and they work together. So it's like this is like the perfect time to get yourself structured in a place where you've got this kind of tool with AI, with you, Lima, that knows how to use all this stuff and make it work. So you can focus on exactly what you do best and economically bring in a person, not just to coach you, but also actually get stuff done so
Yeah.
that you can move on to actually adding value in your marketplace. And that's exciting. I think that's so exciting.
Yes, I gig on that kind of stuff, you know. Sometimes my husband goes like, I know this is exciting for you, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm a tech nerd, too. So I was like, yeah, I love this stuff. But you know what? To get excited, even if you're not a tech nerd, it's about adding value, getting getting your messaging out to your ideal clients in a way that they recognize as important and engaging with you so that they're actually taking advantage of what you do and who you are in
Yeah.
a real-time basis. And that's really the crux of it is helping those folks to move along in their story every day.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing, and you're leveraging all this tech plus your knowledge plus your personality, and being local in the San Diego market is really, I would say, a competitive advantage for the right company.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
I,
Yeah.
I, I seriously think I mean, you're not paying me to say that. I seriously think that's true, because I know you, and I think what you're doing here is really powerful. So
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I'm looking at hiring somebody for this kind of stuff myself.
there you go. I can share a name for you.
Okay.
Uh,
Because yeah, I got some projects I'm working on.
yeah.
So okay, so you've got all this stuff. You can capture leads, nurture the leads, close the leads, invoice them,
Yeah.
and you get all these features: a sales funnel, websites, online. I'm doing your sales for you, email marketing, all this stuff, and all you got to pay is this it?
Yeah. So we are doing a founder's price right now. So with 97, there's some people that They already know how to use the platform. They don't need support. They say, hey, I don't need support. I just want I just want the platform. So we sell it at $97 a month. But if somebody wants the support, then it's $147. And with that, with the founders, what we do is when somebody fill out their information, we install one of our systems that is a completely out of the box system, which, let's say, a chiropractor, right? He will get the automations, the funnels. It's something that we built. It's not something that comes from the company. That's something we built based on the industry. Also, they get the lead magnet. They get everything that they need in order to just go change a few things here and there and get started.
Very cool. So what's the ideal scenario here? Because you have the event program, which is your website.
Yeah. So even for the event, we have the automations. In the past, we have been using this software for about 4 years. So I was just bringing my clients in for the events, and I was building everything on the back end. And I have worked with Kajabi, ClickFunnels, Kartra, ConvertKit. I mean, you name it, I have tested and I have used it on the back end. So when we are doing the events, we use our system. We have everything already built on the back end, that when somebody comes in and they say, I want to host a summit, they can host a summit in 30 days. Usually it takes 3 months.
But what's it cost to do? What would be the business case for doing a summit and then having you work on the back end with all of the infrastructure stuff, the funnels and emails and all that?
So doing the event is $10,000. And doing all the automations, doing the setup, it's about $1,500 to $2,000, depending on the nurturing sequence. Because we always tweak to make it personal. So we have like the base that people come in and they said, okay, I can run an event right now if I want. But if they want to have more things, then we can customize for them. We can customize all the templates, all the funnels, all the automations for them. And that's what we charge a little bit more. Or if they have somebody in-house, they pay for the software, which is $147 a month. They pay for the software. It's already installed in there, and they can just use it and run their event. But they can't take it out of there because that it's a $10,000 service, right? So they can't take it out of there, but they can use it as they are running their events.
Very good.
Now, the best thing that I've seen now that we have been doing is the text callback, which is phenomenal, especially for people, let's say a contractor, a roofer. What happens is when you are on the field, you can't take the calls. And a lot of the companies that send leads to you, they would charge you per call, per client that they send to you. So what it does, it immediately sends an AI, sends a message, and makes sure that that person books a call on the calendar without the contractor have to lift a finger. They get a call immediately. Hey, we just missed your call. And then they start asking questions and pre-qualifying the client, because let's say that person is not a homeowner. So you're wasting your time talking to that person, right? Because they are not homeowners, they're just renting. Or if, you can choose the pre-qualification method. And then if they're pre-qualified, then they go and they book, the AI will book a call for you. They will send invoices once that's done. So all of the things that as a contractor, I should not have to do, or as a dentist or as a chiropractor.
So these are things that big companies have been doing for years, but you're now able to do them economically for a small business.
Yes.
That's powerful.
Yes. Well, with the voice AI, it's not really the way that it works. It's new, and
Hmm.
it's called the AI employee. So it's something new that was released. And the interaction, it learns from the questions, it answers the questions. So it's not just the chat widget that you put on the bottom of your website, because we have that capability as well. We also put that in there. But for $300 a month, they have access to the system that allows them to connect with the calls with the people that want to work with them. Don't miss that call. Still book an appointment, still send follow-up messages. Let's say, for example, somebody books a call and don't show up. They start getting into the automation of the no show up, where they get, hey, we understand life happens. Here's a link for you to book a call again. We would love to serve you. And it gets that communication going until the person either books a call or says, I'm not interested, without having to have anybody behind the scenes trying to do that. It's also great for
That
reviews.
that would cost you at least $300. I mean, if you
Yeah.
did it yourself, that's your time. What's your time worth? And then, or if you're going to hire somebody, are they from, I don't know, somewhere offshore that they really don't know? So that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It costs more because if you lose a client, how much is a client value, for you?
Mm.
So, yeah. So that is something that they get installed. They get an account, they get installed. $300, no contract. They can use it. They don't want it, then they can just cancel at any time.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
This time goes really quick. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about? Any other thoughts, any stories, anything you've got?
So one thing is that sometimes we have our dreams and we think about things that they're going to happen in the way that we plan on that was going to happen, and they don't, right? So I mentioned that I wrote a chapter in a book. That was a dream of mine, and I put it on the vision board to happen this year. And in August, it said, I was like, that's not happening. I don't have the money to build, to launch my own book and pay for people to do the editing. So that's not happening. And then immediately I said, you know what? The year's not in, it's not the end yet. Still have time. And a lot of times we don't believe in things that we dream, or we think it's too much for us, or it's too out of our way to do it. So when I shared my story, and this is what I wanted to empower everybody, is to share your story. Even when you think that it's too much detail, too much information, or it's like, in my case, it was menopause. And I wrote in the book how those systems helped me remove stress, at least reduce stress from my life, by having all of these things in place, so I could sleep at night knowing that everything was being taken care of.
Mm.
But when I shared my story, which it sounded like it was too much information, somebody heard it and said, hey, you need to share your story in this book. And my point of view was to share about this phase in life that happens to every single woman, but we don't talk about. And we don't talk about that with our husbands, with our brothers, with our sons. So that was my desire. And she heard and she's like, why don't you come and write a book? The first thing that comes to my mind is going to cost $1,800, $3,500. And right now I'm investing on this automation, the AI in the business. I don't have that. And then immediately my mind goes like, stop it. You are going to do this. So I was like, yes, I would love to do that. And
Yes.
then she goes, it's $75. And I was like, what?
Yes.
So imagine if I had not,
I pay more than that to go out to dinner on a date night with my husband.
right? So I was like, imagine if I had not shared. Imagine if I had uh, immediately thought, no, I'm gonna say no because I can't afford, right? Or it's not the priority right now. That word is not in my vocabulary, but it's not the priority right now. And the next thing, it happened. And now I have this project in my hands. It's called Redefining Menopause. And we have guys reading the book and leaving reviews on Amazon.
Beautiful.
The first review was from a man, right? So that really changed. When you think you have something that is not special, it might not be special to you, but it might be something that will change somebody's life that you don't know. And now more than ever, when I talk to women, everybody's like, thank you for sharing that. I was so embarrassed to talk about this. So
are you on Amazon now? Is it on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, and it was bestseller in many different countries, which is awesome. So it's one of the things that I just want to empower everyone. Don't let situations or challenges, or even like when things don't look like they are going the way you want.
What's the name of the book?
Redefining Menopause. He has a colorful.
Which one?
There's a colorful picture of like a cartoon of a woman dancing, like green and blue.
Got it. Yeah, I want to bring it up. Let's show it here.
And yes, that one. And you know what's interesting to you is that I heard people saying, why are you getting distracted? This is a distraction because this is not part of your business. But again, where is my purpose? And you know what? It is. And a lot of the women that are going through the same thing that I'm going through need systems in place so they can continue to do work, they could continue to do their business and reduce stress. So in the end, it is relatable. It is something that can help women stay in business, grow and scale their business, right? So when you are driven by purpose, don't think about, is there money out there? Am I going to be, where is this leading me? Is this becoming a distraction? Is that your purpose? Do you feel in your heart? Do it.
Well said. Well said. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Have you got a few more minutes?
Yeah.
We have a comment. Somebody, there's Florin. Florin's got a long comment. It says, this is by far one of the best integrated solutions on the market for generating, nurturing, and converting leads. Summit to launch. Yep. Honored to have Fernanda Firman, AI, virtual events, summit and launch expert leading the club in Carlsbad. You rock. Yeah.
Thank you.
You rock.
You're amazing.
Speaking of Florin, he's on stage. We can bring him on for a second. You got a few minutes to chat?
Yes.
All right, cool. Florin, I'm going to bring you on, buddy.
Yep.
Let's see if I can figure out how to get you on the stage here. There we go. Hey,
Florin.
Hey, Felima. How are you? Happy Monday.
Good. Happy Monday.
Yeah.
Lima, what a great show today. I mean, wow. We're still live, but it's like that was fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
Really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I like the educational part, to learn more about. Even I and Felima were working on this app, and we're trying to kind of implement the Summit to Launch into the Bright business process. And we're going to talk more tomorrow. But I was impressed how many options, how many capabilities you have with this app. And not only this, but having Felima on your side, guiding you, that's a big plus. Especially for us people in Carlsbad, for the members.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, that's true. No, because like you're saying, and I think for the first stop, the hub what I forgot the name. Just what is the HubSpot?
Yes,
The,
HubSpot.
it's not. I think it's a way more than $99 a month.
Yeah. So
And
what happens is there is, even with HubSpot, you need to have something to connect. So it doesn't do all the things. So you start creating connections in between platforms using API keys or using, another software to connect the softwares. And
you're all
it's,
over the place.
yes,
No,
and that's
no.
where problems can happen.
Yeah, that's why it's a little spoiler for tomorrow. Let's put it this way. I already created a little directory for our members to scan the QR code, the calendar. Who has the calendar, who not, maybe is gonna go to their email address. On the other side, we have the LinkedIn. The main goal is to plug into to generate leads, right? To go to the calendar. But we're not gonna stop here. We want to plug all these leads into CRM and Summit to Launch to be our platform, to have the master platform for the Bright business. And from here, each one of the members who's gonna choose to be more intentional with generating leads and generating sales at the end, they're gonna have their, let's say, satellite Summit to Launch. That's because I've been on the market for a long time, and I had exactly the same headache. At some point, let's say I do have the money, but then how are you gonna plug all these dots? You need another guru in the field to kind of help you to figure out how to configure all this platform.
Now you brought another point. Even for me, when I was working with different platforms, doing all the events for my clients, I would have to hire one person that knew how to use this software, another person that knows how to use that software. And then in the end, if something goes wrong, they're like, oh no, on my end it's working. It's on their end. It's the funnel. No, it's the automation.
You need a master on top of this guy.
It wasn't me, it was him.
Yes.
It's so easy. No, this is amazing. So that's why from now on we're gonna work diligently to implement this. And we're gonna probably that's gonna force us to split even the membership in two groups, probably. Some which are not really intentional, they like the environment, they want to be there, and the second group which are in to generate the financial revenues. Because now, let's face it, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. A purpose, like you're saying earlier, is wonderful to have a beautiful purpose to save the world, to do, but without the financial resources, I'm sorry, you're not going to go anywhere. You're just a dreamer.
Yeah. So. And just the financial, goal without the purpose creates burnout, right?
Or you're just a dry money maker, or dry old school business dude, just for the money. But I think times are changing, and I think is a need for a new type of entrepreneurs or business owners, purpose-driven ones. And we need to balance both the purpose and how to generate the financial resources. And the Summit to Launch is a platform perfect for this. You as a person, you do have a clear understanding of the value of the purpose, and you have the skills to help us move on.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I enjoy it. So I have fun with that.
Love it. This is the fun part. Yeah. And tomorrow we're gonna have a few people. And how can I say? I don't know what you're doing down in Carlsbad. First of all, you and Sanami and Mike and people are like starting sending messages, and they're kind of I heard something. I think it's something going on. We want to join. And Caroline, I introduced to some people. So the vibes are kind of spreading, and people they want to be part of something where we have how can I say, well-shaped skill professionals, business professionals like you both. And on top of this, you're not just a dry, just transactional. You care about the people.
And I think that's the difference. When people join at least one of the meetings, they can see that the caliber of the members and the attendees are different, and how people are engaged and what they're sharing and how they wanted to connect. And our lunches afterwards are the best
Mhm.
too.
Yep, love it. Yep, nothing special, but are the best because we share more vibes and this that is so casual. Yeah, the other day I was talking with Edgar, so he joined us last week, and he said it's the best investment, and he is so happy. Not only about the quality of the workshops, but the quality of people, like you just said. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
this is
so if
what.
anybody's curious as we're chatting about this, I just put up the website for business.com, and this is the the hub of activity here for all of the different places that you can go to get access to the content that we're putting out and the resources that we have for small business owners and experts. So yeah, check this out. This is there's so much buzz happening and it's growing every week. We're getting bigger and bigger and better and better. So yeah, check this out. If you're a small business owner who's got just an idea about a business and you want to get something going, this is the place for you. But or if you're a business owner that has maybe 100,000 in revenue coming in, but you're stuck because you've got so much to do and not enough time to do it, this is the place for you because we have experts that are helping our business owners to leverage their time and their money to scale up to bigger and better and faster to serve their purpose-driven businesses to more people more efficiently than ever. So, and Florin's putting this all together, and we've got tremendous partners like Lima that are helping out. Tsunami and Mike and Anna, all these folks are definitely people that you want to get to know. And the best place to get to know them is either in San Diego, in Corona, in Corona, or in Irvine. We've got meetings happening every month in those three areas, right?
Yeah, yeah. Right now we're experiencing a challenge in Irvine. We need a bigger room, and yeah, well, right now we are at the UCI, and
Need a bigger room. That's a good problem to have.
yeah, yeah, because
We got more people than we can handle. No,
yeah,
we'll fix that.
yeah, yeah. Joseph, the leader of the club in Irvine, is very active. So we already have the guest speakers for January, and we are working already for February and March. So
Then we have online programs. We have a business lab, a mastermind group, and a business expert club as well. And these are all online and are open. The mastermind, the business lab is open
yeah,
to the
to
public.
everyone. Yep.
So yeah, so if you're checking us out and you want to learn more, click on that QR code right there and join that next meeting. It's coming up. It's the second Tuesday of the month, every Tuesday.
Right.
Second Tuesday of every month, we have that.
Yeah. So if we with the Bright Business Lab, we open the topic of the month. So each month we have one specific topic. So if you see here, this is our fourth meeting, let's say class, and we focus on inner leadership. Next month we're gonna talk about the power of community, the power of tribe. Like you mentioned earlier, Felima, how important is to have to be surrounded or to be in a positive source of influence, to have the right people around you. But not all of us are so lucky to have supportive environment, and we want to be that supportive environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and the next
How has
month,
that been for you, Felima? How has this worked for you so far?
I'm loving it. So I was really looking for an event where we could connect and have more one-on-one experiences. And when I joined the first day, everybody was so welcoming. Everybody was so nice. And I was invited to speak, and it was amazing. Like when my presentation was over, there's so many people that wanted to talk to me to, you know, see how I could support them, asking some technical questions. And really, like, the level of questions was not just, or conversations was not just, hey, great presentation. Was actually, people were taking notes. They were, taking screenshots of the slides. So they're very engaged and they wanted to learn, because and that's the difference. When you're in a room with people that are presenting and nobody really cares,
Mm-hmm.
then it doesn't give you all of that energy to continue. But everybody in that audience, they are taking the time to be there, and they're making it like valuable by adding value, by adding conversations. And that's how I felt when I first came in. And also with the masterminds and the meetings that we have, there's so much value, especially having a whole team kind of coming in and giving you feedback and answering questions, everybody in different niches being able to help each other. That is, like, seriously a value that you can't find anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. And on top of this, no pressure to join. You join. You pick whatever you think is appropriate for you. Maybe I don't want to. I don't have time for business lab or for this topic because I know about this. Okay, or I don't feel like coming to Carlsbad because it's too far for me, or my market is not that area. But if you want to come to Carlsbad, Irva in Corona, you're more than welcome to join us. If you want to join all the online programs, the mastermind I think is a must attend, because we are as the family, the concept of being a part of the family. But if you don't care about marketing and sales because you already have everything in place, okay, don't join. But always are options. On top of this, we are not limited to like one seat per whatever professional. No, we love to have more AI experts in order to have a community of AI experts, which already are shaping, and to have more attorneys or more business coaches and more businesses in the field. I don't believe personally in competition. I believe in collaboration. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and
And we have, right, like, Beverly is also, she's an expert on AI, and
mhm.
we are already talking about putting something together that we can share, like
Yeah,
maybe a workshop or a presentation. So we don't see each other as competitors. We see each other like, how can we add value to each other?
exactly. Complement each other,
Mhm.
not to compete against each other. And tomorrow we'll talk about this. I have no spoilers, but you open a new, completely new path. And from now on, we're going to be very intentional. And I like to see how each one of the members can bring value to all of us.
Mhm.
And like somebody said, oh, you're only business experts, you're not going to generate value. But no, we are business experts slash business owners in the same time. So we all need each one to support each other. And on the other side, I was struggling this idea how to go after the small business owners or small medium business owners. And I think that we have the best way to go is to send a very clear signal in the community, let's say in Carlsbad where we are right now, that here is a group of dedicated business professionals willing to help, to assist you grow. And slowly, businesses in the area, they're going to plug in our community.
Yeah. And can I
So,
add something to that too? That's very important. I have been in many networking events where at the end they all try to sell you into something. Nobody ever tried to sell me on anything. And I have been going for what, 4 months now, I think.
yep, yep,
Um, there was like conversations on, how can I help you? Or I would ask questions like, hey, how can we work together? But there was never a hard sell. There was never somebody like pushing. Even you with the membership, you never called me and say, hey, are you joining or what?
no, yep,
The first week I was like, I need to be part of this. But there was never a push. I never felt like I need to do, like, somebody's trying to hard sell me on anything.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's compliment or it's something to think about, because Edgar told me Saturday kind of the same thing, but he said, I think you should be more, how can I say, not salesy, but to kind of let people know they're welcome to join, to be more welcoming, or to send an invite, which I was trying to do, but it's something I have to work on it. But at the same time, I try not to be on the other side, to become too salesy. But anyway.
What I'm seeing too, Florin, with kind of support what Philip is saying, is that you're adding a tremendous amount of value with this whole program that you're putting together in 3 different cities in the Southern California market, and soon to be more. That we're bringing experts and business owners together in a really unique way that's giving them access to what they need in the way they need it to actually help them make their businesses better for their customers. And that's what's powerful to me. And there's a membership fee, but once you understand what that is, you'll see that it's such a valuable thing, that the cost of it is really nothing compared to what the benefits are if you actually grasp the concept of what we're putting together. So
thank you so much. I totally the concept overall is based. The project is designed around one big pain, my pain, as a business owner. So I wanted to have, at some point in life, to have a methodology to help me, to guide me, because random workshops that do not really help. You're all over the place. So you need a step-by-step framework. But even a learning methodology and whatever it is, still is not good enough. You need to have a business experts around you. And even if you have a community of business experts you can plug when you need them, you need an ongoing family where you want to be part. And in this family, you have that kind of business expert, you have that one. How can I say? Just talk when you need them, are there, and you can trust them. So this is an ecosystem we're building around. I think my needs are any business owner's needs. But
right, yeah. Well, I think we're at hour and 17, so I'd like to kind of wrap it up. Any last thoughts from either of you, Fernanda or Florin?
I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. It's really, I feel supported by the team, by the group, by the members, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to share the story, to share a little bit of my business and how in my little world, I feel like I'm transforming the big world out there. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, it's our pleasure. Thank you for joining us today. It was a great, fantastic show. Florin, how about you?
It looks like you are diligently working on stretching this program to a 24/7.
Yeah, we're going to be doing this. We're going to a 24/7 format here soon. We're going to have a live channel that we're going to be broadcasting on. So this episode and all the other ones that we've done, plus the ones to come, will be on that channel. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be adding more and more value to the community that we're serving. So we're excited. Thank you for bringing that up.
Many things on the plate right now, but like I said, one step at a time. We have so many things going on, but we don't want to overwhelm. So I would say just stay in touch and see you next Monday. Who's going to be our guest next Monday? Your guest.
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I decided that I'd forget before you could ask me. So I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't remember who it is.
Because I think I have somebody for you.
There's somebody booked, but I don't remember who it was.
Oh, okay. Great. So until we're gonna have that 24/7. See you next Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Hang on a sec. I'm gonna end the stream. We'll stay on for a second.